people. Hello, people. Today I'm going to be doing part 3 to What If Deku Was a Hyuga. Last where we left off is the USJ arc. It was a week after the USJ because they had a week off so the students could get their nerves calmed down after the attack. And Aizawa and 13 were in the hospital. And in this, I'm going to make Aizawa get healed a lot faster, so when they come back to school, Aizawa's not in bandages. They ask him why he's not in bandages in the hospital. And he says the old lady went a little overboard with her treatment. So at this point, he's notifying them that they have 2 weeks to train for the sports festival. And Deku takes this time to train his body. Since his Byakugan requires chakra, he's gonna perfect his chakra control and medical ninjutsu. So in 2 weeks, Deku is a complete prodigy in chakra control and medical ninjutsu. He's past Tsunade's level of mastery. And before he knew it, he has mastered the 100 healings, which is this diamond on Tsunade's head in Naruto, if you didn't know what that was. So in the day of the sports festival, Deku walks in and they're all questioning him about the diamond on his forehead. And he tells them from his intense training with his quirk, his diamond on his forehead seals up power for him to release that goes all over his body. And they all just sat down and started thinking, how strong is he? Then their thoughts were quickly interrupted by Aizawa saying, okay, everybody, go put these gym uniforms on and get to the bus. They do so, but not before Mineta, being his usual self, finds a hole in the wall and tries to peep through. But before Jiro could even stick her earphone jack through the hole, Deku sends an air palm directly at Mineta, shooting him into the wall. And we're going to skip to when they are at the Coliseum. They are waiting to be called as they're introducing all the other classes. They call class 1A as they all walk out. They cheer exactly the same as they did for the other classes. And Midnight asks for the class 1A representative to walk up and give a speech. And in this AU, the representative is Deku, not Bakugo. So Deku walks up and says, today we are here to show the world our strength. No matter what course we're in, we are all the future generation of heroes, support course, business course, general educations, any course that you are in UA for, we are the next generation, we are the future. So let's show them what UA is made of. And as he finishes his speech, everybody is just roaring and cheering for Deku. Then Midnight brings out the wheel and asks and shows them what they are going to be doing. She spins it and it lands on an obstacle course. And if you're gonna ask in the comments saying, since Deku has mastered chakra control, can't he do those chakra enhanced punches and kicks? Yes, he can. And he does those just like Sakura, but he's at the adult Sakura level, like in Baruto, so it's not at the useless Sakura stage. So as when they're all in the line, landing in the hallway, Deku notices that the doorway is too narrow for all of them to get through. And in knowing his classmates, he's gonna believe this one's gonna stop them, most likely Todoroki. So when they say go, Deku jumps off the floor and infuses his chakra into the walls and runs on the wall like like the ninjas do with their arms back in Naruto. And he jumps in front of everybody. Everybody starts breaking the ice and starts running. When they get to the first robot, Deku jumps up and punches the 0 pointer, destroying it. Not having any backlash because of his 100 healings and his enhanced chakra punches. So Deku continues running. When he gets to the canyon, he simply just jumps from little island to island until he makes it across. When he gets to the minefield, he activates his Byakugan and sees all the mines. So he does backflips on parts where he knows the mines are not going to explode if pressure is not applied. So he functions all his body weight into his feet. So his hands are incredibly light. So it feels like no one's stepping on it. And he goes through and does this all the way through the minefield. And he gets first place. And as is in canon, as it said, he has 10 million points. He is instantly targeted by everybody. So, but the team as it is in canon, Uraraka, Tokoyami, Deku, and Mei Hatsume. But it goes a little different since Deku has his Byakugan and 360-degree vision. And in this, he does not have the blind spot of the Byakugan, so he can see all the way around him. So, since at the start of the cavalry battle, Deku isn't on top. He's one of the runners that they have. So he tells Uraraka to make them weightless as he jumps into the air carrying them all. As they see several attacks coming at them, Deku does 8 trigrams, rotation, and rotates at high speeds, creating the rotation speed, protecting them and sending the attacks back at the other opponents and teams. They continue this for a while as Bakugo tries to attack, but then Deku kicks him in the face, sending Bakugo to the ground. But before Bakugo hit the ground, he took Bakugo's headband. So everybody in canon makes it through, but Ojiro does tell Deku about Shinso's quirk. And Deku starts thinking, if his quirk involves brainwashing, he doesn't need to talk to Shinso. So when it's for the time for the 1v1 battles, the first battle is Hitoshi Shinso versus Izuku Midoriya. So when they get into the ring, Deku immediately activates his Byakugan, and he sees all the pressure points as if they were chakra points in Shinso's body. Shinso starts back talking bad about Deku, but Deku, not worrying about it, runs up to Shinso and says, 8 trigrams, 64 palm, and does 64 palms on Shinso, leaving him immobilized and unable to move. As he wins, he says this to Shinso, don't rely on your quirk. You may not have a flashy one, but it is powerful. And you can become a great hero with it. Train your physical body so you don't have to rely on it. But also rely on make friends so you can have people to rely on, not just yourself. And Shinso takes the star and starts training more and making friends. All the fights go similar to canon, but when it gets to Deku and Todoroki's fight, Deku is approached by Endeavor, flaming trash. Y'all know we don't stand Endeavor, so don't try me. So then he says make Shoto use his fire. And he says, "Shut up, Endeavor. I know what you did to your son. It's clearly written all over his face. But you don't tell him what he needs to do. You surpass All Might, not your son. He wasn't made to do that." And Endeavor says, "Yes, he was." But Deku cuts him off, says, "No. He was made for the reason for you to love him, not use him as a tool in your pathetic way of you seeing that you're weak." And Endeavor is just quiet as Deku walks to the stadium. And then Todoroki yells at him and says he's only going to use half his power. Deku yells at him saying, "It's stupid. Your father it's not your father's quirk, it's his. He controls it. And you weren't made to surpass Alma. You were made to show you that you are Shoto Todoroki. Become a hero. Become a hero on your own way, the way your mother wanted you to be." And Shoto has a flashback of his mother telling him to be his own hero, and he erupts into flames, getting ready to shoot his final attack. Well, this is what Deku wanted. Deku knows that his rotation can easily deflect this attack. So when Shoto fires his attack, he does 8 trigrams, rotation, and does a rotation, literally blasting the attack back at Todoroki, but Todoroki making ice and blocking it. And Deku does twin lion fist when 2 giant flaming lions appear on Deku's hands. He shoots them towards Todoroki. 2 lions fly at Todoroki while Deku is running at him with 2 other lions on his hands. He does this they fight for a couple minutes. Then Deku says 8 trigrams, 120 palm, and does it to Todoroki, leaving him unconscious and bruised. And when it's Bakugo versus Deku, Bakugo's yelling at Deku saying, "You shouldn't have been done," yada yada yada, yelling at him and saying how he's useless. And Deku tells Bakugo to shut up and how he acts more like a villain than he does a hero. And starts criticizing Bakugo, telling him just because you have a flashy quirk doesn't make you the best. The flashier the quirk, the more dangerous it is. And you're not realizing it. It sees you that you don't care. And Bakugo's realizing this. And Deku is just yelling at Bakugo saying, "You bullied people because they didn't have strong quirks, and you used your quirk on them. You say you're going to be the number 1 hero. What number 1 hero yells at people, tells them to go take a swan dive off a roof?" And everybody's dumbfounded. They're all shocked, speechless that Bakugo would do such a thing. While Bakugo's standing there shocked, Deku takes this chance and does 8 trigrams, 32 palm, and does this to Bakugo, leaving him numb, not being able to move or use his quirk. So Deku basically bodied Bakugo and Todoroki. And when there was the award ceremony, Bakugo just stood there quiet, rethinking his life choices. And so was Todoroki. They got their medals, and they all went home. But the next day in class, Bakugo walks up to Deku and says, "I'm sorry for what I've done." Deku says, "I don't think I can forgive you, because what you've done was unimaginable." Bakugo says, "I'm sorry, but I hope you can forgive me. Knowing me as a person, I am petty, so I'm not gonna make Deku forgive Bakugo, but Bakugo's gonna try hard for Deku to forgive him." So the next I will post tomorrow, well, later today at like 12 or whenever I have time. So thank you for tuning in for this latest episode, and see you later.